Cruising highways longer, further. Living life is supposed to be. Red lights never seem to stop us. Trapped in shackles, yet we're free. I try to limit my restrictions. I always fight to feel complete. I never found out what was needed. Life is always bittersweet. I've traveled through this world a million times before, and every path I cross I know what lies in store. And even though I know my heart is on repeat, life is always bittersweet. One for forgiveness. I always try to pull my weight. They say the other side is greener. I'm pretty sure I won't be late. I play my cards as I'm supposed to, yet all I do is bluff and cheat. Better save my thoughts for later. Life is always bittersweet. I've traveled through this world a million times before, and every path I cross I know what lies in store. And even though I know my heart is on repeat, life is always bittersweet.
Welcome to Toronto. How y'all doing? I figured I'd make this video. This is going to be very quick-ish with some editing, hopefully. We'll see. So I'm in my hotel room as I've had a headache all day and kind of hot and bothered. So I'm like, you know what? It's fucking I'm going to go home. So I'm back in my hotel room. It's really swish, as you can see. Whee! Merci. There it is. Wow, that's exciting. It is on the 23rd floor of a hotel that has 23 floors, which I guess is cool. It's pretty fun. It's been enjoyable so far. I'm here to learn and talk to people who are much more educated about subjects than I am. So that in and of itself is entertaining. So that's been good. It's been very busy because, I flew in yesterday, so today's Friday. I flew in yesterday from where I live, and that takes 3.5 hours, plus a bunch of various things going on, planes, trains, and automobiles, and all that fun. You'll see some of it. I've put up a couple of videos that I recorded from the train as we pulled out of the airport and then pulled into downtown as well. I have... I'll be taking more videos as we go along. I also took one as I kind of walked downtown, just as I was walking back to the hotel. There will be better ones coming for sure. I have one from the CN Tower I'll definitely be doing. I'll be doing one from the baseball game probably. And we'll try and do one from a museum. And then other places as I can. There may be a boat tour. I'm debating whether I want to do that. But either which way, still lots to come, and hopefully you'll see all of that as we go along here. For right now, I am going to put my feet up and relax for a little bit. It's been lots of fun, but I'm tired. So anyway, TTFN. Hey, welcome back. It's day you can't see me. 3, 4, 4, 4. Yeah. Welcome back. Day 3. I have video of. I will put it up maybe now, or maybe I put it up before. But either which way, that might be an edit. Who knows? Welcome back. It's been a good week so far. A lot of interesting things, a lot of very unique discussions and very scary ones when it talks about how to deal with bots and things that are causing all sorts of trouble on social media. So some of those have been scary and interesting and fascinating and all those kind of things. That's kind of the work side of it, and that's been really interesting. Tooling around Toronto has been cool. I haven't done a lot of touristy things. Today is going to be a little bit more touristy. There's a boat tour coming up, which I'm going to take you guys on a little bit of at least. And I hope you've been looking at some of the pictures I've been posting on various social media sites. As well, I'm going to probably try and sneak into the Royal Ontario Museum later this afternoon after I go through another lecture series, which I'm quite excited about that. And then tomorrow is going to be a few other cool things, trying to see the CN Tower, trying to see the Hockey Hall of Fame for the first time since it was in a little shed thing back in the 80s, and then going down and visiting the Blue Jays game. I don't think I said that. Baseball game. And we'll take some video from that too, because that stadium is 30 years old and I have never seen it before. It was being built as I left. It actually finished the year after I left, which was kind of funny. So this is, for those of you that don't know, I lived in Toronto through my high school years. I really enjoyed it, but I left for various reasons, and coming back has been really interesting, because coming back now as an adult, it's a very different environment. Just walking downtown is quite different from what I expected. I will say this, the one thing that's really interesting is when you go down in Toronto, it's much more like a New York sort of setting rather than, say, a London setting. London's very wide open and old, obviously, but like there isn't loads and loads of skyscrapers everywhere, so you don't have that tunneling effect, you don't have that cave-in sort of feeling, and if you're claustrophobic, I guess that would be an issue. But for me, that's kind of cool. I've always enjoyed that aspect about cities, and it's kind of what I'm used to after having lived here, really. So that aspect of it's been really quite awesome to see and experience once again. So anyway, more to come on all of that. We will catch you guys later. Be safe, have fun, take care. Bye. angles. All the angles.
Folks, get your cameras ready. We got a plane coming in for landing almost above us here.
I wanna go to a place where I can feel the rain again. I wanna reach the mountain where I can soar across the sky. And so my feet start to tremble, they lift off the ground. I leave it all behind, and I can see the horizon, it's calling my name. I leave it all behind. I'll rise above all that I hold dear. I'll never fall. I'll always soar across the sky. I wanna fly through the night and feel what I used to be. I wanna run away where I can soar across the sky. And so my feet start to tremble, they lift off the ground. I leave it all behind, and I can see the horizon, it's calling my name. I leave it all behind.
Hey everybody, hello, welcome back on the vlog. We are on my final day in Toronto, full day. Tomorrow I leave, so I have to be down to the airport by about 10-ish, so I wouldn't call that a day in Toronto. To leave on a plane flight at noon. So I will have a very busy day tomorrow. I don't know if I'll do any vlogging until I get home. I don't even know if I'll do vlogging when I get home, but I will definitely do some sort of wrap up. Hopefully I can do a little bit of video from the plane, but I don't know. One good and bad thing about the way we book my plane flights is I get an aisle seat. That's really great when you want to leave the plane or get on the plane because you have access to the row. When you have diabetes like I do, you need access to the bathroom and you don't want to crawl over everyone to get there. So that's part of the reason, as well as I just don't like sitting on the plane waiting to get off. So it's nice to be able to get out and not have to wait, because when you're in the inside, you wait until everybody's out, just about, it feels like. So, especially if somebody's being super polite and letting everybody out first. But yeah, so we'll see. If I do get access to a window, I will definitely take some video. So you guys can see kind of the takeoff, blah, blah, all that. But I can't guarantee that, so we'll see how it goes. It's been a great few days here. It has been very much what I hoped, which is the conference was productive. I didn't go there, as I've gone to a couple conferences, going, oh, this one talk was the only thing that was actually any good. And the rest of it really didn't apply. So that's nice. That's unusual. Normally you're like, why am I here? And so then you start to go tour around and walk around a bit because you're like, I'm bored. But I wasn't bored throughout this conference. I quite enjoyed it. I recommend it if you have interest in the academic side of social media, because it's an international conference. They're all over the world, like they were telling me the other day. They did Copenhagen last year, London I think 2 years ago or 3. They've been to Toronto loads, of course. I guess it was 3 years ago because 2017 was Toronto as well. So they come back to Toronto quite a lot. It's because I think they founded the whole thing, so I think it generally will come back here. So I'll probably go again when it's here again. I don't think, well, I know I'm not going to Chicago next year for various reasons. But I think I probably convinced my boss that it's worth coming back to in a couple of years' time to kind of get an update on how things have changed, because of course social media is a constantly changing environment. So there we go. So that's the work side of my life. Fun side. We have been going out and doing things. I went out yesterday. I went to the Royal Ontario Museum. Not as impressed with that as I thought I would be. I mean, I went there as a young person, as a teenager, and it actually was largely responsible for why I got super excited with history. Being able to do things and learn things there that really set me on the path of where I am now. So not seeing any of that, not having most of that, in fact being very minimalistic, to the point where I was questioning most of the exhibits as to whether they're real or not, or whether they're just reproductions, which I think largely nowadays they are. Kind of disappointed in that, kind of disappointed that it was mostly a furniture show, which, and then they have, as a lot of museums now are doing, especially in North America, they're becoming very dependent on natural world type stuff, natural history type things, and that's great. But when you come from Alberta, where we have tons of dinosaurs and we have a massive museum dedicated to dinosaurs, it's not exciting to me to go see a dinosaur exhibit. It's just not the same. The other problem is I'll be honest, is that the British Museum kind of ruined other museums for me. Having been there in London back in 2011, holy crap, is it so much worse to go to another one that doesn't have a, especially because the Royal Ontario Museum, I mean, not to go too much in the weeds in this, is very focused on early modern Europe. That's fine, but that's all they focused on. There was no classical stuff, which I think is a mistake. There was no medieval stuff beyond just bits and pieces. The exhibits that they have that cost money extra over and above the entrance fee were not enticing enough to get me to view them. I'm not big into art history. I do know it. I understand the significance of a lot of it. I do like art, but I'm not paying extra money to go see Rembrandt, ever. Maybe Monet. No, I wouldn't even pay it for Monet, and I like Monet. So for that reason alone, I kind of stayed away from those. But like I said, I went in. It didn't cost loads of money, but it wouldn't recommend it if you're looking for something other than the natural history element. Which is disappointing to me. That, like I said, that was kind of the source of how I got interested in history outside of my father's obsession with the Civil War. And so for me, that was actually something of a disappointment yesterday. Went out to some really cool neighborhoods, saw some neat things, took a few pictures of those. But the highlight so far of the trip, I have to admit, is we went on a boat tour of the harbor, which is on Lake Ontario, and it goes around the island of Toronto, which just sits basically not even a mile or two off the coast of the city. And so we went up and did this tour where we go up through the island and come back around, and you see the city. And I have never taken such really, really brilliant photos of downtown, other than Edmonton has one point where I live where you can go and take pictures of the city, River Valley and the downtown core from the opposite riverbank, basically. And that actually looks really cool. But yeah, this was spectacular, and the shots are spectacular because it was sundown. The weather was gorgeous. There was hardly any wind. It was beautiful yesterday. That was probably my best day so far as the weather goes. Today, it's more overcast, but it's cooler, which will be nice, let me tell you. Friday was shitty. It was so hot. And the humidity was high, and it felt bad, man. It felt bad when you're wearing long trousers and a shirt that's buttoned down. It just kills you. But today we're going to the baseball game. We're going to go to the Hockey Hall of Fame. And where else was I? Oh, then the CN Tower. So I'm going to try and see all those, get video of all those. I've already been told, and I already expected, the CN Tower is not as exciting as it seems, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, I went up to the Calgary Tower in March, and honestly, it wasn't terribly exciting. So it brought back memories that weren't that thrilling. So, mostly because, so without getting too far into this, Mostly because when you go into the Calgary Tower, when I was a kid, they had a lot of other things there. It wasn't just about the view. But I think to save money and to try and make your dollars worth it to them, they eliminated all of that. So you don't have any interesting things to do other than to look, and then you leave and you're like, oh, well, that was exciting. So I'm going to spend more money to go do this, but I think the views will be spectacular. I've heard that the one problem is the windows haven't been cleaned, so things aren't terribly great to look through because everybody's face prints and kid prints and nose prints and hand prints are all over the thing. But we're going to do our best. We'll see how it works. And if it's crap, then it's crap. But I will have video of that later, as well as the baseball game, as well as the Hockey Hall of Fame. I'll try and do some video. Definitely will be taking some photos in all of those places. And kind of just give an overview. Obviously, I don't want to talk while other people are around. I feel kind of embarrassed. So most of the talking side of this is here. But definitely we'll be doing video. And of course I put up video of me walking around the city. The thing I will say is that the standard of living in Toronto, what makes it expensive is much like in London, is the cost of living as far as your rent goes or your house payment goes. It's a lot more expensive than where I come from. Probably about up to $1,000 more a month, which is pretty steep, and I don't think you get paid enough for that. So, but I will say this, I have noticed that the prices of just about everything else is cheaper. Like I pay less, like even just a place like McDonald's is about $4 or $5 less, which is disgusting to me. So that part of it's been funny. And so I made an observation, and of course somebody said, wow, look at the rent. So I went looking at some of the rent, and I went, whoa, okay. Because I pay $1,600 a month for my rent, which I think is too much, and they're talking $2,500 here. So I'm not looking to spend that kind of money. Just saying. So I'd be spending minimum for a 1-bedroom the same as what I spend on a 3-bedroom, which is a horrendous amount of money. But anyway, that's that.
I was trying to look back. I'm just trying to move in the shadows. Yesterday, tomorrow, I'm searching for a way. I can't tell the difference between you, between me, and the search for an answer. I can't tell the truth, even though it takes courage to capture a dancer. The things I fear the most, between you, between me, and the search for an answer, are sure to die away, even though it takes courage to capture a dancer. I wake up feeling broken. I get up and I lose my devotion. I never stepped astray, but now I lost my way. I can't tell the difference between you, between me, and the search for an answer. I can't tell the truth, even though it takes courage to capture a dancer. The things I fear the most, between you, between me, and the search for an answer, are sure to die away, even though it takes courage to capture a dancer.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can do that here, and you can watch the latest video up here. And if you want to know more about what we do, be sure to check out distractionsmedia.com.